welcome to Monday Night Live. We're here tonight with our special guests, Robert and Landis Felts. And I don't want to take up any more time than I have to. I want to introduce them as my friends. And many of you are familiar with Landis. She's been a host of Monday Night Live many times before. And tonight they're going to be sharing their story. It's Robert's health journey, but of course, Landis was very much involved in it. And so we're going to turn it over the rest of the time to them and then take some of your questions at the end. So you can welcome them. We're all going to clap, and feel free to turn your cameras on so they can see your smiling faces. And then we will have some conversations at the end. Thank you.
Okay, right here. Okay, so you guys have been walking through this health journey with us. And Laura asked Robert to do this, and this is not going to necessarily be all Young Living. This is a lot of this is health. And I'm going to let Robert talk. And of course, if I need to.
I don't get to do that very often here, let me tell you.
Aw.
So anyway, if there's anything that I want to interject, or hey, we use this for this or something like that, then I'll let him do that. But I will let him get started, and he's going to tell you kind of from the beginning.
All right. I am Landis's husband. I guess you kind of figured that out now. Back last Christmas, we had a family gathering up by Wichita Falls, and I hadn't been feeling well for quite some time, probably several years, just off and on, just different things, pain here, pain there, just not ever feeling totally 100%. And my two sisters at the time over Christmas said, you need to go and get checked out. And it'd been probably 10 plus years since I'd been to a general practitioner or anybody to run any kind of test on me. And so I said, okay, I will. And Landis had been pushing me to see doctors as well. So I decided, okay. And sure enough, got an appointment for a general practitioner in February. And that time she ran some blood work and did some other stuff. And it came back that I was walking around with a A1C of 11.3. And I saw some faces there that thought, wow, that's pretty large, it is a big number. It is a big number. And there's reason why I wasn't feeling well and doing very well. At the time, I probably weighed well over 200 pounds. I know this journey's been probably 3 years now. I got up to about 250 pounds, and now I'm down to 180. And between 178 and probably 182. I agree. It is a huge thumbs up. I feel a whole lot better. My knees don't hurt like they used to. It's just it's like carrying around a big sack of potatoes and now I don't have to, which is awesome. But in February, got diagnosed with 11.3 A1C, and at that point in time decided, okay, need to make some serious changes. And Landis said, okay, I'm going to ride this journey with you. And she changed our diet. I cut out sugars, pretty much, I would say 98 to 99% of all sugars I cut out. A lot of carbohydrates as well. I changed the diet drastically.
Can you tell them what you were doing before?
Oh, y'all get a kick out of this. I was a huge Coca-Cola fan, and I would probably have 3 or 4 large Coca-Colas a day. And then at nighttime, after dinner, I'd have, 7 or 8, 9 pieces of chocolate, candy, and I was a sugar monster. I'm here to tell you. I love chips as well. Yeah, there's the diet wasn't real diet friendly at all. It was definitely, I could see definitely why the diabetic number was where it was at.
Yeah. So as a salesman, he drives 200 miles a day. So it's really easy to stop at a convenience store, but also to get a chip bag. And we're not talking about a chip bag. We're talking about a chip bag, and eat on that every time he got in the car in between stops
I
all
loved
day long.
I loved peanut butter crackers. I had one of those every day, and as if you look at the carbohydrates on those, it's not very friendly. So there was a lot of carbs I was putting in intaking in this body over time, and so we changed the diet, and Landis, I mean, we started eating really healthy, clean food. We started eating some organic stuff as well, and it's and we also started taking Young Living's
Once and burn.
Balance and Burn. And I tell you what, at this point in time, in February, I was probably 205 pounds then, 205 to 210. And like I said, in like a month and a half, I dropped down to 180 and feel pretty good. And that's where I'm staying right now is at 180 in 5 pounds either way. And I really feel a whole lot better. Landis also periodically does an iToby scan on me, and I have 8 Young Living oils that I'm taking right now for the iToby scan. And matter of fact, we need to get another one of those done pretty quick because that one we've had for a couple of months now, and
Yep.
I need to do that. She got a new oil that I'm starting to, and I basically have some neuropathy in my legs and in my feet from about from my calves down all to the tips of my toes. And at times they feel all right, and other times it's I don't even want to walk. And so I've been using oils. I've been using muscle rub, a lot of different things on these legs to offset that. And, you know, the doctors have told me that over time, being diabetic as long as I was, that undiagnosed diabetic as long as I was, that it made it where they are today. And it's going to take time for them to heal. I mean, it's not an overnight solution. So I do feel that they are getting better from what they were in the past, and I'm pleased with the progress on that. At times, I don't notice them, but a lot of other times they are definitely ouchy, for lack of a better term. uh, Thinking. Oh, no, I forgot to tell you. I was at 11.3. Within a month and a half, I had another blood draw, and I was down to 5.6 from diet and some exercise. So in a month and a half, I had dropped the A1C down that far. And I had some testing run less than a month ago. I went to my endocrinologist, and I had dropped down to 5.3. So I'm very much not even pre-diabetic. I'm just out of the diabetic zone. You have to be 5'6" or more to be pre-diabetic,
5'7".
5'7" or more, excuse me. And I'm down to 5'3". And I was wearing a monitor on my arm, a glucometer, and the endocrinologist said you can take it off for a while, go a couple of months, and then put one back in and see where you are. I visit him again in 6 months. Part of my other some other parts of my journey. I have 3 cardiologists, and
I didn't know we had to have 3.
but they I guess back in February as well. They My first one I went to, I had a CAT scan done, I had a calcium score done, and I had they came up and found that I had 2 blockages in 2 different arteries. One was 60%, and the other one was between 65 and 70. And at that point in time, my cardiologist said, "Okay, we need to schedule you to see this other cardiologist. They'll check to see if you can have stents." Okay, we went and I did that, and at that point in time, that cardiologist said, no, you don't qualify for stents because you're diabetic. Well, I had already dropped my A1C down, but they didn't realize it because they didn't run another blood work on me. So she didn't want to put in stents, and she sent me to the third cardiologist who was going to do the bypass surgery. And I was scheduled
May 27th.
okay for to within the next month to get a double bypass.
Which I had no peace with.
And so at that point in time, we
And if we can point out that you had a son getting married within like a month
Yeah.
and a half
right.
of the date too.
Yeah.
And I was going to be out a minimum of 8 weeks, they said, for the bypass surgery. And at that point in time, come March, or no, it was May. Excuse me, it was May 18th in that area. This is a great story. It's getting better. Go ahead.
Oh,
May 18th, the Friday prior to the May 18th,
so that was 15th.
I came home from work and went straight to bed. My stomach was bothering me. I did not feel well, and I did not get up for 2 days. And at that point in time, the Sunday morning, or actually the Monday morning at 1 a.m., Landis sits up in bed and says, it's your appendix.
The one woke me up and
And
he told me it was his appendix.
so
we
we-
had been doing fiber, water. I had gone to get suppositories. I even bought an enema and nothing is moving. And at 1:20, literally, I woke up and I heard appendix. I grabbed my phone. I said, can appendicitis disguise itself as constipation? And it was like, and I said, okay, get up. We're going. We're going.
And we went to the emergency room, and at that point in time, they scanned me again and said, okay, yeah. They had to find what?
But first they said, no, we don't think so. We don't think you have appendicitis. And I just looked at him. I mean, I didn't say God said, but I was just like, mm. And he said, well, I'll run some blood work. I was like, okay, go ahead, run some blood work. And so he ran some blood work. And when he came back, he said, you know, his white blood cell count is really high. And I went, oh, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'll order that CT scan. Well, that should have been ordered when I walked in the door. But anyway, so yes, okay. Ordered the CT scan. She says, praise it. Anyway, so ordered the CT scan. And when he came in, Robert said, what do you think? And he looked at me and he pointed and he said, she's right. You have appendicitis. This has got to come out. Okay. So don't let doctors tell you because I heard it. Appendix was nowhere on my radar. Nowhere. And it's, I don't wake up in the middle of the night. 1:20, boom. I literally was like, appendix. We're going. Okay. Go ahead.
So we were at one of the smaller emergency rooms in Baylor, Scott and White, and they said, we can't do the surgery here. So I got told that I'd have to go to one of the bigger hospitals. So they found me a room at Baylor, Scott and White in Irving. And
About 30 minutes away.
we drove to Irving, got admitted at about 11 a.m. And at 4 o'clock, I had the surgery. Well, between 11 and 4, cardiologists were fighting each other, saying he can't have the surgery. He's due a bypass. We can't do this surgery. We have got
Three Stooges. I mean, it was like this. So we had a PA, a nurse practitioner, and a cardiologist all come in because we're all in the same network. And they saw that Robert had surgery scheduled. This is the 18th now. He had surgery scheduled on the 27th. And they're like, what is healthcare about? Covering your behind, liability, suing. So it was like the Three Stooges. What have you been? How you've had chest pain? You've had this. No, he hasn't. This was found through a checkup. So they were all freaked out. Finally, that got sorted, which is why surgery was so late.
and
They did all these other tests too.
at 4 o'clock, they finally decided that I could survive the surgery, and and I did, and it was quite interesting. I'll tell you a quick story. I don't know if any of you folks know who Patrick Mahomes is, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, I know who that is.
Okay, I woke up from the surgery, and the guy sitting in my room at the computer, I thought it was Patrick Mahomes. And, and I tell this story, and a lot of my friends, they laugh because they know who Patrick is, and they thought, yeah, Patrick Mahomes was in your room
Yeah.
when you woke up from your surgery.
She looked like him. Same
But-
haircut.
It was quite humorous, but no, Patrick Mahomes was not in my hospital room.
Darn it.
Yes, exactly. I'd got an autograph probably or something if he had been. But so that surgery went well. I only had just a little bitty, probably less than a 1 inch scar underneath my belly button. That's pretty much yeah. And they had four incisions, and I'm very pleased because I've had no side effects whatsoever from that surgery, and it went well. I was out from May 18th through June 8th at work, and I got to go back to work on June 8th. They said the only thing is that I couldn't lift anything up more than 20 pounds for those 3 weeks, and I was very pleased with the surgery. I had a follow up with the nurse, or not the nurse, the doctor who did the surgery. Very nice lady, and it was a robotic surgery, which was pretty cool.
Okay, so here's the big thing. So, who called you while you were in the hospital to tell you that they didn't need to see you?
The last cardiologist that was going to do the bypass surgery said that Tuesday after the Monday that I went in to get the appendix out, they tell me that Tuesday that they had a roundtable of 5 cardiologists in that practice. It's the Heart Hospital in Plano, and said that they decided that I didn't need any type of surgery, any bypass surgery, no stents, no anything. They were going to utilize medication and check me again in 6 months and see where things are. Make sure that I didn't have any chest pains, shortness of breath, anything like that. If I had anything like that, to let them know, but nothing like that has taken place.
What did all the doctors just sit in amazement over?
The dropping of the A1C from 11.3 down to 5.6 in a month and a half.
And why?
Because I had no medication. I had only used food and some bit of exercise, some bit of walking and stuff. And I changed my diet and Young Living products.
Diet was huge, y'all. Diet was huge. I did not order that Balance and Burn until probably a week plus in. And they wanted him to be on metformin, which is I do medications all day long at work. Metformin is the number one prescribed diabetic medication. And what they do, I want you to please listen to this. Okay, please listen to this. Metformin is designed to lower your blood sugar because they expect you to be unable to do it yourself. They do not expect you to have a diet change. They do not expect you to have a lifestyle change. They expect that you are going to do whatever you want to do, and then the blood sugar is going to be controlled by this medication. So the reason why they wanted him to be on 1 dose of metformin for the first week and then go to 2 doses.
They wanted me to have that prior to each meal, so I could pretty much, I guess, eat whatever I want to. And then that metformin would basically tackle the carbs and the sugar and all that kind of stuff and keep it bottled in, forced down, that kind of stuff.
And of course, we all know that medication has huge side effects. So metformin, one of its primary things is that it attacks your kidneys. What do diabetics need to be careful of anyway? Their kidneys. So they're like, oh, it is an acceptable issue because we're controlling the sugar. Okay, excuse me. So, Robert, he was fearful. He was fearful. And he said, I am going to take this medication. And I was like, okay. And ladies, you have to let the Lord work on your husband. It is not your job. He has his own Holy Spirit. And so you cannot do that. And so I literally was just like, okay, God, I don't want this. I didn't have peace about that bypass either. So we got an appendix surgery to cancel bypass, but okay, whatever. Anyway, so literally I was just like, okay, God, you got this because I can't, he is spiritual and you are the Prince of Peace.
I just wanted to get better and do what the doctors said to do to begin with. And then as I saw myself, the diet, losing the weight, all that kind of stuff, I said, okay, I don't have to have this metformin because I'm doing this healthy and doing everything correct. So I quit using metformin long before they suggested that I quit using it.
Well,
and they didn't even realize that I had stopped using it.
Yeah.
And came back in for a checkup, and of course they always ask you what medications you're on and all that kind of stuff. And when I said I'm doing this and this, and they said you're not taking metformin, I said no, I haven't taken metformin in over a month. And they said, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
they weren't real excited about that, but I didn't really care at the time.
Because the glucometer was going off in the middle of the night. At one point in time, it went off in the middle of the night, which I don't waken well in the middle of the night. I'm not usually a very happy person. It went off and his blood sugar was down to 40. Okay, so I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, and it dropped it so low that during the nighttime that it was unhealthy.
And I said, Robert, get off that medicine. You are doing what we need to do. Your glucometer is letting you know you're staying within range without spikes. Get off of it.
The glucometer, its range is between 70 and 170. So you want to stay between that. And while I was wearing it, I probably stayed in that range about 99% of the time. And my endocrinologist had access to my numbers through my Dexcom. They had it in their labs, so they were able to check it daily if they needed to. But they could tell, and they could run scans and stuff, and to make sure that I was within their range.
And so Robert was, so his stint doctor called on Tuesday when Robert got home and said, I've made a place for you. I want to see you on Thursday. So it was like, okay. So he had Larkin drive him on Thursday. And she told him, she said, we are amazed. Ready? We have never seen anybody be able to drop their A1C. They told me it was going to be months. Okay. Drop their A1C so quickly and be able to stay off medication completely and their A1C be normal. You are a wonder. And I was just like,
yeah.
So people, they expect you to fail. They're expecting you to fail. And guess what? We're not about failing here. We're about victory. And I read a number of books, and there's a man by the name of Don Colbert who I read, the first book I picked up was Reversing Diabetes. Now they will tell you once you have diabetes, you always have diabetes, but he is getting, instead of 5.6, he went down to 5.3, no medication whatsoever. It's all about your diet. And as awful as it sounds, I ended up losing about 20 pounds myself, which I probably could lose 20 more pounds. But anybody else have that awesome menopause weight up here that was right here as like a tire? I've never had a tire. I have a big bottom and big legs, but I have never had a tire. And so all this suddenly came in, and because I am also looked at him and I said, I'm doing this with you for a couple of reasons. One, I'm too lazy to cook 2 different meals. 2, I have been trying to work on this guy to be healthy for a long time. And so my toe got in the door. And as soon as my toe got in the door, I slammed my door open and went, "We're in. Okay, this is what we're doing."
You were working on healthy cooking chicken fried steak and fried chicken. You, you years ago,
Years
you
ago.
did. Okay,
Years
not
ago.
recently. No, absolutely not. But you're saying you were working on me, trying to be healthy.
You have to have support.
Okay.
You have to have
Yeah.
support. So anyway, it was like, okay, good. We can finally do something that I want to do. And so we used it, and I dropped 20 pounds in probably 2 months,
Yeah.
2 months time period of time. And Robert got to where he needed to be on the balance and burn. And we have a multiple other things that we are doing. I do want to tell you, and I did share this on Facebook. I mean, yes, on Facebook. I watched the Don Colbert, which I watched a video podcast of his, and he started naming all of these supplements that he suggested that we take. And so I'm writing them down, man. I've got notes, and I'm the little, that's me. Anyway, writing notes and everything. And I had not looked at the balance and burn at that time. And I was like, I need to look at balance and burn just because I had not done that. And so I went and looked at balance and burn. Everything that he suggested is in balance and burn. Every item is in balance and burn. And so I was like, oh, heck yeah. Young living. Here we go. We're ordering balance and burn. And so we've been very consistent on that. We started with the Master Cellular Nutrition. And for those of you who did not go to the Awaken Tour or did not hear, they're recommending as a baseline foundation now, Ningxia Red, Balance and Burn, Master Cellular Nutrition as your baseline, and everything else you can add to. And so we have been very consistent about that. We started doing the protein shakes. And for us, we are using the Ningxia Red in our protein shake. And I actually I put several other things in there. I put Inner Beauty Collagen. I put Ningxia Green.
I put fiber in mine.
He puts the prebiotic fiber. Um, we get a ton of stuff from our breakfast shake that we do, and so many products that we put in there. I also use Inner Boost and Balance. So it is literally just like a Young Living conglomeration of stuff that we end up making. And with our almond milk, we put in the Ningxia Red. So the so we the after he went to his Thursday cardiologist appointment, she said, "We don't need to see you.
I've got a follow-up appointment next month, and if she likes what she's read and seen and all that kind of stuff in the recent test, I probably won't have to go back for at least 6 months. She said 6 months, maybe a year. So it really depends on probably just how I feel at the time. If I think that I can go without seeing her for quite some time, I'll do it. I am very pleased with the progress I've made since December of this past year, and feel a whole lot better than what I did. I have a sister that is a pharmacist, and when she first found out that I was walking around with 11.3, she said, "I'm surprised that you're even walking." She said, "You were probably like a zombie when you are out there." And I probably was walking around like a zombie. Now that I think about it, just wasn't a lot of fun, and big mistake on my part. Something that you don't need to neglect your health at all. I was not very smart in doing that. It was a bad choice on my part for years to just say, well, I can do it. I can make it. I don't feel that bad today. Well, there was a lot of times that I did feel pretty bad, and I just suffered through it. And I tell myself, oh man, you had huge pain tolerance, but you might have a big pain tolerance, but that's kind of not smart a lot of times, because the repercussions that I'm having now from not taking care of myself and not checking things out years ago, it caught up to me, and now I'm having to get myself up out of the ditch that I was in and get myself back on the right path.
It's very much a, we talk, and I'm the queen of that because, our oldest being vaccine injured, I am not exactly trusting of the medical community necessarily, but what going to the medical community did was, one, it allowed him to have a change of heart. Okay. He said he about faced. And I mean, to go from 11.3 to 5.6 in 9 weeks is unheard of, but it changed him. But we often go because we're scared. But what it did was it armed us with information that we could then take and apply everything that we've learned from Young Living. And you people are here consistently, day in, day out, Monday in, Monday out. And I know your uplines are sending you things, and it gives you tools. Young Living has given you tools. And so you go get the information and then you say, I don't have to take metformin. I don't have to take Monjaro or whatever semaglutide or whatever. You don't have to do that. You take what they give you and then you apply what you have here in Young Living and go, okay, now we can tackle this. So I'm not anti-medical. I really am not, because thank God they took out his appendix. Okay. But at the same time, I fully believe that I told Robert about, well, now it's been about 3 years ago, but at the time it was about 2.5 years ago. I said, I think you need to go get your blood sugar checked. And he was like, said, nobody in our family has diabetes. I'm fine. And now he's like, oh, I wish that I had done that because of the neuropathy. So I just found a nerve pain recipe. Can I say that? I found a nerve pain recipe and I'm going to be making that up. And he is also using the frankincense squared as well.
Absolutely.
And the CBD that I have put helichrysum, a ton of helichrysum inside of it, that he is using. And then there's some other things like red light therapy. So I bought a loom box for him to be able to utilize the red light therapy. And I mean, guys, there are times that is really a big struggle. And so this is what I want to say. This is my overall. If you go in with a fear factor to the doctor, then you're going to take whatever they say and you're going to make it your own and you're going to receive that. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe that the God that we serve expects that. And so you're going there just for information. And then you take that information and you apply it to what you know. We have resources. There is so much stuff. I read 7 books on diabetes and then went, okay, which is why we started using cortisol, because when your A1C is out of whack, your cortisol is out the roof. So we started using cortisol. We started using protein. Then we mixed all of that stuff in with that protein. We started using the prebiotic fiber. That was huge. So you have all of these things that you go, okay, I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm going to take it within my family, my Young Living family, and go, what do I have available to us here? And like I said, there isn't one thing that it was like, okay, I got to buy that from somebody else. We have it. We have it all. So he amazed the doctors. We went from, and Colossians 3 tells you, I'm going to read it. Colossians 3 tells you if you read the Amplified Version, and I like the Amplified Version because it's wordy, and all of you who know me and love me know that I'm wordy. And so if we go to Colossians 3, hold on. Let me look here. Okay, I got that is so bright. Here, I got to put on my glasses, guys. That is so bright.
Very these.
I don't want to borrow those. These are also blue light. So Colossians 3, 15 says, and let the peace, the soul harmony which comes from Christ, rule, act as umpire continually. I like baseball. In your hearts, deciding and settling with finality all questions that arise in your minds in that peaceful state to which the members of Christ's one body, you were also called to live, and be thankful, appreciative, giving praise to God always. So I I say that to you because I truly had no peace about that open heart surgery. It had been scheduled, that bypass surgery, double bypass. I had no peace whatsoever. And yet it was on the books, and they were supposed to have this big meeting, and then it just so happened that Robert had his appendix out the day before the meeting, and they were talking and everything. But for me, that was like I fussed and worried and worried and worried and worried and worried. And I'm like, this is not what he's supposed to do. This is not what he's supposed to do. And God took care of it unconventionally, but he's going to use whatever to get the glory. So it is, don't be scared to go to the doctor. If you ask the Lord, do we need to go to the doctor? I believe with all my heart that the Lord woke me up and said appendix, plain as day appendix. I didn't do that. So the Lord guided us all the way through and continues to guide us all the way through because at that point in time it's like, okay, this is bigger than me. I can't do this. This is bigger than me. And he even had his surgeon for his appendix that looked at him and said, you could not have waited one more day. His appendix, we have a picture of it. His appendix was gangrene. Gray, just as gray and nasty as it could be. So the Lord knew he couldn't wait one more day. And so he woke me up. So for us, this has been huge. It's been a huge lifestyle change. It's been a huge journey. I have been known to be the world's biggest chocoholic ever. So in your Nutrition 101 book, Laura Hopkins has a recipe for chocolate pudding that uses avocados and unsweetened cocoa powder. It is phenomenal. And it is the only thing because when you go from lots of sugar, and I was guilty in that, sugar addict, lots of sugar to, Robert called me Thursday morning and said, my A1C is 11.3 and I've been diagnosed. I stopped at the store on the way home and cooked something that I wouldn't normally cook because I was like, it ends here. It's stopping here, no more. And so it was literally that night that we changed and we were like, okay, here we go. Here we go. So that it's been crazy, but it's been awesome.
And, cutting out the sugar,
We got to hurry.
I thought it was going to be difficult, but when I was told that I was diabetic and I needed to change my ways, that next day there was no Coke drink, nothing. I mean, candy. I walk by a candy aisle, look at it, and go, yeah, okay, whatever, and just keep on going. So, at my age, I'm 62 years old. People would have thought that might have been a little more difficult, but it really wasn't. I mean, to cut out.
Your why got big enough.
Exactly. I thought about, well, I have a son getting married. I got another one probably getting married in a few years. I'd like to see some grandkids. The path I was going, I wasn't going to live too much longer. It might have been a year or two, and that'd have been it. But cutting everything out and doing what we've done so far has been a true blessing.
Yeah. Yep. So you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, don't be afraid to go to the doctor. That's I'm here to tell you, do not be afraid to. Don't act like you're big, tough person that doesn't need to see a checkup every year. I'm going to be a firm believer in that now. And I've even told my 25-year-old son and my 22-year-old son, if you feel anything going on in your body, let's go to the doctor and let's check it out. Get it checked out.
We have the tools. Okay, there's been tons of chats.
Awesome. So there's questions. You guys, thank you. so much. And but you have a lot of questions. And don't worry about the time, Landis, because people want to hear this. Let's while you're here. And that was
So
one of
we
my
called you
Mr. Landis.
okay. That's right. It is Mr. Landis instead of Mrs. Robert. Okay. Did
so
you
that
stop
was
snacking or change the types of
I
snacks to
pretty
healthy
much
versions?
I pretty much cut out snacks. I do take now today with me throughout my day. I'll take carrots, I'll take celery, I'll take strawberries, some dill pickles,
Wait,
and I take some honey ham and some bologna with me during the day. I'll eat my ham and my bologna first, and then I can take intake the other stuff, and I can eat the carrots and the celery prior to the strawberries and maybe some other. I like cherries. I'll bring cherries along as well. But
you have to.
checking my glucometer, I really none of that stuff really spiked me at all. It would maybe I ran about 104 on my glucose, and it would push me to about 100 and 160 on the average. There were some meals that I would eat that I might go 175, but there was nothing that I ever went in the 200 range.
So I will tell you one key to controlling your glucose spikes is to clothe your carbohydrates with. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. I think he hung his leg. Um, so, in other words, if you were to go to a Brazilian steakhouse, okay, you're having so much protein there. It's not even funny. Protein, 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 protein. So, if you wanted to have some fruit, if you wanted to have something like that, you would be able to do that and not spike your glucose. I will say this. Uh, one of the times that he spiked was that he ate, and I have no idea why. Live and learn. I had made him some chicken salad, and I had put a few, very precious few apples in the chicken salad. Why? Because chicken is a protein, and it's okay to have some type of sweetness there. And then he turned around and ate an apple. So he had apple, and he ate an apple, and he spiked that day. So it's learning how to prioritize glucose spice. Now, we do not eat rice. We do not eat pasta. We do not eat, we haven't had, I mean, pancakes and biscuits. And I mean, all that's gone, gone. But those things that are, for instance, it's, with the daily hormone stuff, I have been intermittent fasting and for a long time. And so needed to change that up anyway. I'm having a grass-fed, grass-finished, nitrate-free beef stick before I have my hormone in the morning. Why? Because you need to have some protein before you do. So we have really changed the way that we look at things and making sure that we're eating in the proper order. And now that he is better, I mean, obviously 5.3 is phenomenal compared, I mean, that's 6 points. Now that he is better, even with a glucometer, if he wanted to have like you had half of a cornbread muffin the other day, it was half. So moderation is huge. I mean, you can't go to Cracker Barrel and eat 3 of their biscuits that they give you and they sit on the table, so you have to moderation.
Yeah,
But
and
you have to,
in this journey, I've learned moderation, and if I'm going to have, just as you said, a muffin, it's going to be a half of one. It can't be a full one.
no,
And
yeah, and
I
protein.
see where someone asks, "Do you have sugar withdrawals?" I never really had them from the beginning. Once I decided that I can't have Cokes anymore or can't have chocolate or anything like that, it was like, okay, let's do it. And
Sparkling water.
the thing I do like fruits now more than I did before, and I guess it's the natural sugar that the fruits have is very good. And I'll eat a custard now, which you don't put sugar
So I
in it.
use monk fruit as a artificial substitute sweetener there, and custard has eggs, milk, a tiny bit of salt, some vanilla, and then instead of sugar, I use monk fruit and I sprinkle a little nutmeg on the top. So that is a quote unquote dessert. But what happens when you start this is that your taste buds change. I have watched Food Network for years, and they'll still talk about here. Are you trying to read?
No, I just
Mahomes is from Texas. That's
I know.
true. Good point. Anyway, he could have been there. Anyway, so with that change, you know, you hear chefs talk and they talk about the sweetness of a tomato, and I was like, tomatoes aren't sweet. But guess what? When you're not eating a Snicker, tomatoes are sweet.
Yeah.
So you learn your taste buds change, and so it doesn't take as much sugar to meet that sweet as it does. Oh, and that chocolate pudding has got a smidgen of maple syrup in it. And that's a natural, and we use pure maple syrup. That's a natural. But see, those avocados are just, they're so good and they're so creamy. But you don't need much anymore. You really don't. You don't need what you think you need. You just have to kind of just say, okay, this is what I'm doing. She's doing a teaching on kidneys on August 8th. Ooh, deep dive based on what your husband still went through. Okay. Thank you, Adelina. I appreciate that. Okay.
Now it was Deborah Rayburn's husband's meeting, and I'll send that to the Monday Night Live text as well, so people can have that one.
Great. I would love that. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Tammy is good. Tammy is the one that taught me I could put so you're looking vibrant.
You know, I used to be afraid to take off my shirt. And now I'm not afraid to take off my shirt. It was funny. Went to Broken Bow with with my son and 11 of his buddies for his bachelor
party.
And we had a great time. We rented a house up there, and they had a big pool in the back, and all these big old boys. I mean, there's some boys that are 300 pounds in that group, and then there's some 275, 250, and I was the only adult really there, the oldest guy there, of course. And they were all taking off their shirt, and I said, okay, let's do that. So I took off my shirt, and everybody thought that was pretty funny that I was being right along with the boys.
I hate carrots, Laura. If they taste like roast, it's okay, but just eating carrot is disgusting. Okay, so it is. Shelley, you said I'm just now able to get on recorded, correct? Laura can send you the link, and I think actually we did okay with this, Laura. If you want to post
it, fantastic.
Okay, so how do you recommend we repeat your story in our at-home classes? Is what Dominique said. So, you met Dominique's parents at David and Yvonne's.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you just tell it? Say, we have some friends. We're friends. We have some friends. This is what they went through. This is what Robert went through.
Absolutely.
But again, you can paraphrase that and go, guess what? They got the information when they went to the doctor, and then they used what they knew here. I think that's giant. I don't think we teach that enough. Mom.
Well, and we can also, you can play this video. Just if it's a video that's going to be on YouTube, you can just have him share it.
Yeah. So it's, get your information from your doctor, use the tools that you have, follow the Holy Spirit. Actually, I should have said that first. Follow the Holy Spirit because he wants you well.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
He made all these oils on the third day, y'all, of Old Testament creation, knowing that we were going to fall. And so we have Old Testament, third day healing, and New Testament third day healing.
Yeah.
One takes care of your spiritual, other takes care of your physical, and not that they don't intercede, but he did that on purpose. He wants you well. And so I want y'all to take him at his word and go, okay, guess what? You can reverse diabetes.
The high A1C was diagnosed in February, and 1st of April, probably mid-February, 1st of April is when I had another blood test run, and it was, I think it was April 4th to be exact, and it came back at 5.6. So I went from 11.3 to 5.6 in roughly 6 weeks. And like I said, it was mostly diet and some oils and stuff. And then there was a very little bit of exercise, but mostly diet for the main part of that. And I was on metformin probably for 3 weeks at that time.
Oh, I don't know that it was that long, but
it wasn't long at all. And basically, like I said, the way metformin worked was they wanted you to take it before a meal, and with that, then you could pretty much eat whatever you wanted to, and it wouldn't allow your glucose to take a hike.
Get to the root cause.
Sure.
Let's not just put you in medicine that's gonna cover up your symptom, for goodness sakes, people. I mean, that's my number one aggravation, is that I see people every day, and that I have elderly people that come into my office that have literally, they're bringing an Excel spreadsheet that their kids have made for them. There's 15 medications on it, and I can look at that, and I've done this long enough to know I can look at one down here and go, oh, you're taking that because of a side effect you're having on this one. You're taking this one because of a side effect on this one. So 4 out of the 15 are all because of side effects. I'm like, this is not what God intended. We live in a fallen world, but it is not what God intended. So I fully believe that with the experience that we've had with Young Living and just learning basic health lifestyle changes has made all the difference in the world. You can do it.
I would agree.
Overcomable. So don't let them tell you it's not, because it is. All right, we've kept you guys way too long. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell Robert that it's supposed to be over at 8:30.
Yeah.
Hey, it's okay. This is a good conversation. You have one more question. Charlotte had a question.
Where is that? I'd love to hear a little more on why protein before hormone essentials. You know what? I will talk about that in, how about I do that on Saturday at Facebook? I'll put that down. I will do that. More rescue meds work for just a season, but manage it beautifully. So much. Yes. You're welcome. You're welcome. I just want you guys to be encouraged, because the doctor's not something to avoid. The doctor's a place to go get information.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
just go get your info and then do what you know to do. So I can tell you, and Yvonne, for those of you who are in Yvonne's group, which is Adelina and Dominique, that I know for sure in this group, Yvonne, and Tammy, pretty sure Tammy, has gotten her naturopath certification done too. So that's pretty awesome. So there's other ways to do things.
We use our tools, and just like the diagnostics, traditional medicine's great, can point us in the right direction. Yep. But you can be in charge of your health. Just because the doctor tells you have to take this, you be in charge. And I liked what you said, Robert. Mm-hmm. Getting past that fear too, and you're looking at it going, I have a bigger why. I want to be here for my grandkids. I want to be here for my family. So that's beat out all of the cravings and everything else. So
sure, absolutely.
When the why gets big enough, it makes a difference, guys.
Sure,
it does. That applies to lots of things, doesn't it?
Amen. All right. Well, we are so grateful for you guys. Thank you for being willing to share.